when after the interview with the New York Times, do you feel like what did you feel like was gonna go through with that story? Like, what was the outcome you kind of expected with that story?
So I didn't have any expectations necessarily from the article. I was happy that somebody was covering it again on on the national scale. I feel like it did not get enough coverage. Um, I was hoping it would be more progressively leaning than it was. Meaning, I would have preferred if the idea that this was an unlawful counter protest to something that didn't happen was more poignant in the article, was more pointed out, but that's not what happened, and that's fine. I do like the idea um, that it's clear, people are getting their news from where they want to get their news. They're not getting their news from reputable organizations, and that's just sad. It's just sad, but it's where we're at. So we have to, wait for the consequences of that to catch up to us. And I think the consequences are going to be empty shelves and higher prices and uh, a major recession. But I don't know. The ball, we're past the point of no return. Past the point of no return.
Yeah, definitely with these tariffs. The thing is, them going on and off in different percentage amounts. It's people. There's a percentage of people that believe oh, there's not going to be any kind of repercussions, and it's like, no, this is literally like throwing a rock into a lake and it's going to get skipped, and that's exactly what's happening because businesses are going to react in real time, so we're going to feel it. And it kind of leads me into um, my next question is, do you feel like um, there's any way that the city, Stanislaus County voted Trump by I think 10 to 15 points in the 2024 election, and so they're obviously going to be affected by these tariffs, especially being within a rural area. So, do you feel like there's any way that in 2026 or 2028 they might potentially vote blue, or what are policies
Hmm?
that?
Absolutely. Um, we have a huge. I was just talking to some people yesterday, some consultants for Stanislaus County, and we have a huge contingent in Stanislaus County of swing voters. We have one of the largest swing voter contingencies of counties in the state. Counties tend to be more red or more blue based on like mountains or coast, but we are very much purple, very purple. And so I think that with Trump's approval ratings tanking the way they are, I feel like they're only going to continue to go down as things get worse. As things will definitely get worse. They are not going to get better, and people are not. Um, when all is said and done, people are going to figure it out. You fudged around and you find out. And so I think that, yeah, I think that we're going to have a much greater chance because the economy is just going to continue to slump. Um, and it's not because our 401ks or whatever. The majority of people don't have 401ks. Let's just be real. But what is going to happen is things are just going to still be expensive, and there's not going to be any tax breaks, and people are going to be like, wait, what happened?
Mm.
So it might take two tax cycles, but they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out.
There'll be tax breaks, all right. It'll be the $1.1 trillion for the top.
Yeah,
They're gonna get
not
that.
for the voters.
Oh,
No tax breaks for the people who vote. So
exactly, and it's unfortunate because a lot of, in my opinion, I agree with kind of what Bernie Sanders has to say about a lot of people that voted Trump. The majority of them are not bad people. A lot of
right.
them are, they want actual solutions to real problems that they have, and it's the fault of, yeah, the Democratic Party for
Yeah,
half steps to.
chasing the Republicans rather than being Democrats.
Exactly. And so a lot of people feel like we need some type of savior. And when you have someone that presents them as, themselves as your savior, their policies may be bad, but at that moment, they're desperate for something. And so, what?
Well, and it confirms some of their confirmation bias. Like they're mad at the Democratic Party, and look, this is why, because we're spending this much on this and we're not getting this much on this, and we shouldn't be a part of NATO and we should take Canada and blah, blah, blah. So it's just confirming their confirmation biases.
And I think the only thing that gets more dangerous is the longer this sticks around, because this allows for complacency and normalcy, which then
Mm-hmm.
goalposts, and it's how
Mm-hmm.
can you get, and it's it's scary, So I think you have to act now, with actual policies, and so, and like I said, I don't want to make this whole thing just about that protest. I want to be able to expand on, a solution and how we can go past from here, because Oakdale is not just a city that had a protest. It's a city that has lots of small businesses and people that
Mm-hmm.
together within the community. And so I think,
Yeah.
what would be some things that actually would benefit people that we should be promoting, about policy wise, whether it be like healthcare, etc.
So yeah, I think we really need to meet people where they're at. Right. And so when we talk about that, we talk about people that are struggling to pay their bills, that are paycheck to paycheck, people that are clearly, they don't have 401ks. So the stock market doesn't mean crap to them. So I think we need to meet people where they're at, where they are getting the cuts, where they are feeling the most pain, considering, finances, support, infrastructure, things like that. Like we need to be letting people know in real time, and that's hard to do because things happen so fast. Like Healthy Start's getting cut. Lots of kids are going to be who had preschool or had pre-K, not going to have it anymore. Not going to have it anymore. So we need to talk about that. We need to talk about cuts to Medicaid. We need to talk about, whatever's going to happen to Medicare. Like these things are super, super important to talk about. How he laid off a tremendous number of veterans and cut their benefits. So we just need to meet people where they're at, regardless of party. This is about upholding the Constitution and saving our democracy. It does not matter. Like Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter.
Well, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
So, Marjorie, thank you for coming out and doing.
Thanks, Dan.
So, I'm gonna link the article, to the YouTube channel, and huge shout out to Eli Tan for coming out and interviewing someone local out here to the Central Valley area.
Absolutely.
Any shout outs?
Shout out to obviously Councilmember Christopher Smith. He was interviewed as well. Julie Logan. They are really good members of our community that do have their heart in the right place and are trying every day to make the community a better place. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, that's about it. Shout out to you, man, for doing this. Thanks.
Shout out to everyone, and hey, let's keep fighting for everybody. So
join us. Join the resistance, everyone.